And I'm sure I speak for Mr. Ward and Mrs. Rowe when I say that your reports were very entertaining. But once again, I want to thank you all for your very hard work.
How's it going? I'm Billy the Kid. I'd like you all to put your hands together.
Do as the man said and put your hands together for the third annual TBD SportsCast College Football Award Show. The award show where you pick the winners. We're here live from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. You voted and your picks are in. After some crazy ups and downs in the college football world this year, we have finally made it to the end, and a little longer. Now to deliver our winners, please welcome to the stage Mason Malone and Joey Mondello. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for choosing to be with us tonight at the 2022 TBD SportsCast College Football Award Show.
Thank God it's over.
What do you mean? It just started. The show just started.
No. The season. I don't think I could go through another 12 weeks.
Of what?
You know, the hope, and then the heartbreak, and then the hope again, and then the devastation, more hope, and then more downfall, and pain. Just pain.
Clemson?
Yeah.
You want to talk about it?
No. Not really. Let's go ahead and get started, and we're going to go into Coach Awards category. Here are the nominations for Offensive Coordinator of the Year.
Andy Ludwig, Utah.
Charlie Weiss, Ole Miss. Mike Denbrock, LSU. Ryan Grubb, Washington. Phil Longo, UNC.
And we have our three finalists behind us: Garrett Riley from TCU, Kevin Wilson from Ohio State, and Todd Monken from the University of Georgia. Who would you honestly pick for this award, personally?
Personally, I would say Garrett Riley. I mean, I know that Todd Monken and Kevin Wilson, they both have some very dynamic and, destructive offenses. But, Garrett Riley has done some incredible things with TCU. Comeback wins, man, and offense
Absolutely.
led it all the way.
Definitely. And the one thing that I'll say about Todd Monken with Georgia is it really comes down to the offense this year has looked better than any Georgia offense that I've seen in the past. Honestly, this is the best Georgia offense since Kirby Smart's been here. You can argue with, Jake Fromm getting to the national championship, but the thing is, some of the critics were right about him. He was a freshman pocket quarterback. Stetson is able to elude the pocket. He can get out. Todd Monken's been able to use that against so many defenses, Tennessee or Oregon, in big games. But personally, I would choose Garrett Riley with you as well. I like Garrett Riley a lot. I think that, like you said, the TCU offense was amazing this year. Max Duggan, he definitely exposed some offenses, and Garrett Riley was the reason behind that. So, yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and figure out who the winner of this award is. For Offensive Coach of the Year award, the award goes to Todd Monken, Georgia.
So, yeah, it's like I said, I really don't know that I would have voted for Todd Monken. And you know what? Just a reminder to all of our viewers out there, because you're probably saying, some of you are probably saying the same thing. Some of you Georgia fans are probably like, oh, yeah, definitely. And he's definitely up there for sure. He makes some great plays. But, I would pick Garrett Riley. But, still, congratulations to Todd Monken. And remember, this is a People's Choice Award. This is not this is not voted upon by us. This is voted upon by you guys. So you guys picked him. There you go. What do you think, though?
Like I said, Georgia has had a great offense. Don't get me wrong. I just think that, Garrett Riley has definitely shown up and shown out this year. It's definitely been his year and TCU's offense's year. And, I really personally would have given it to him, but, well earned, well deserved.
Definitely, for sure. Great offense at Georgia. congratulations to Todd Monken. Let's go ahead and move on to our next award, Defensive Coach of the Year. Here are the nominees that you picked. Adam Fuller, Florida State. Bryant Haynes, James Madison. Jim Knowles, Ohio State. Ryan Walters, Illinois. In our 3 finalists, we have Jesse Minter from Michigan, Pete Golding from Alabama, and obviously Glenn Schumann and Will Muschamp from the University of Georgia. And I got to say, what are y'all doing? Pete Golding? Really? Look, it's just y'all Alabama fans. Whatever.
I don't know,
yeah,
man.
Again, who would you pick?
I will never go with Michigan ever again. Alabama, I just don't understand it, especially after the year that they've had. To be completely honest with you, I would have gone Adam Fuller from Florida State.
Wow, really?
Yeah, but
well, that's just you being an ACC guy. But I mean,
well, that's me being an ACC guy, but that's also Florida State who went up against LSU and really held their ground and had a really good year this year, honestly.
Yeah, I mean they did, and they had some great stands. But I will say, when they came up against some more high-powered offenses like Wake Forest, they did tend to fall short. And people want to, while we're talking about it, people tend to get on Wake Forest for having a not great season, 4-loss season. They weren't looking for that, obviously. They started without Sam Hartman, but it wasn't their offense; it was their defense.
Yeah.
Their defense is what killed Wake Forest.
Non-existent.
But as you said, I personally, for me, I would definitely go with Glenn Schumann and Will Muschamp. Like we talked about, nobody's defense has even really been close to what Georgia has done, especially, with them losing a record 15 players to the draft on defense, and then just doing what they did this year, allowing 11 points a game. And you can say, well, Georgia played a cupcake schedule. And you know what? Yeah, our schedule was 44th in strength of schedule, but you know what? Tennessee was a tough team, all right? Oregon became a tough team. It was week 1, still beat them by 46 points. So, but here is the winner. Your 2022 TBD SportsCast Defensive Coach of the Year is Will Muschamp and Glenn Schumann from the University of Georgia. "100%. This would go to them. It's like I just said, and this is the first time in TBD SportsCast College Football Award Show history that we've had two people win the same award, and it's not a tie. They're just from the same school.
They're from the same school.
So there you go. I 100% agree with this. And look, I'm a Georgia fan. You can be like, yeah, for every reason I just said beforehand. But it's like I said, no defense in college football has come close to what Georgia has done this season, especially just under the circumstances coming in. Like, we weren't even really projected to, win the SEC championship. We were supposed to lose to the best Alabama team of all time, which is what that was supposed to be, and it ended up not being that. So personally, yeah, I agree. I think this is a great pick.
I mean, it was a pretty easy pick, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
Nobody's really come close to Georgia's defense this year.
Yeah.
Personally, Clemson's defense, of course, is always going to be up there, but definitely not the season they wanted to have, and it happens. But yeah. So now for our final coaches category, our head coach of the year. Dabo Swinney, Clemson. Jim Harbaugh, Michigan. Josh Heupel, Tennessee. Lincoln Riley, USC. Nick Saban, Alabama. So as you can see, our finalists for head coach of the year: Brian Kelly, LSU; Kirby Smart, Georgia; Shane Beamer, South Carolina. What are y'all doing? Sonny Dykes, TCU.
But you guys seriously made this really freaking close.
What are y'all doing? Shane Beamer?
Look, man, you got to give the guy a little bit of credit. Abby's up in the booth right now. She's celebrating. You really got to give Shane Beamer a little bit of credit, though. I mean, look, South Carolina didn't have the best season. Like we said about Wake Forest, a 4-loss season is not a great season when you're trying to achieve something that nobody else has achieved at South Carolina before. So, and which is a national championship. That's what Shane Beamer wants. He wants to get South Carolina into the national conversation. They went from a 6-6 season. Well, they went from a 2-8 season under Will Muschamp in 2020 to a 6-6 season. Made a bowl game under Shane Beamer in his first year. The second year in Shane Beamer's reign, he takes them 8-4. They make a bowl game, and they're ranked for the first time in the college football playoff rankings. So how about that, dude?
Let's just go ahead and announce the winner. And if it's Shane Beamer, I quit this job.
Who would you pick, though?
Who would I pick? I got to say Sonny Dykes. I mean, it takes a lot. Yeah, it takes a lot to, build a team.
Yeah.
And, be as good as, Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
And so on. But, Brian Kelly, another great choice, but he was already going into a really good program, really well-built program. But Sonny Dykes, TCU was having a rough past 2 years. And, he went into that program and had an undefeated regular season, almost won that championship game as well, just came up short just a little bit. But, it's been a great season for him, and I personally would choose him.
That's really difficult for me because you got a guy like Brian Kelly who, like you said, LSU, is a really good program, and they always have, or they have been the past couple of years. Coming off a national championship berth in 19, falling off the wagon a little bit in 2020, but even last year, still not a terrible season in 2021. But coming into that program, Brian Kelly, has really turned the program around. They go 9-3, get to the SEC championship, beat Alabama in Brian Kelly's first year, right? You also got Kirby Smart, who somebody said it like this, Kirby is not building a monster in Athens. The monster's already built. Seeing what he's been able to do, for the third time I'm talking about it, but seeing what he's able to do with that defense and in recruiting, he's learned so much from Nick Saban. And I'm not going to call him the new Nick Saban because he's building something of his own based on some teachings that he got from Nick Saban. Mm-hmm. Personally, for me, I'm with you. I would have to go Sonny Dykes as well. What Kirby has done this year in recruiting and everything is great. It's an awesome job that he's done. But I think, Sonny Dykes coming into that program and absolutely just turning it around, going 12-0, having so many comeback wins and just producing a great season and making the college football playoff in his first year at that school is insane. So we're going to announce the winner. How about that?
So the winner of Head Coach of the Year is Sonny Dykes, TCU. No Shane Beamer.
No Shane Beamer. Yep. You know what? He beat 2 top 10 programs. That's what I forgot to mention. He beat 2 top 10 programs in 2 weeks. First time South Carolina's ever done that as an unranked team. Congratulations to Sonny Dykes. Turned the freaking program around in his first year. For any coach in his first year to take a team to the college football playoff, especially right now in the 4-team format that we have, which is basically an invitation. If you want to hear more about that, check out our latest TBD SportsCast episode. Sonny Dykes, great opportunity for this guy. I'm glad he won it here at TBD SportsCast.
For sure.
Now it's time for our offensive award categories. And to announce the first award of this category is TBD SportsCast college football host and NC Wiffle creator, Isaac Williams.
Good to see y'all again. It's good to be back. I'm Isaac Williams, coming to you live from Pilot Mountain, North Carolina. It's time to announce the nominees for the TBD SportsCast Quarterback of the Year. Here are your picks.
Bo Nix, Oregon. Caleb Williams, USC. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, UCLA. Drake May, UNC. Max Duggan, TCU. Will Rogers, Mississippi State. you know what? Those are some great honorable mentions, but here we have our finalists for this award: C.J. Stroud from Ohio State, Hendon Hooker from Tennessee, and Stetson Bennett from the University of Georgia. Hendon Hooker, obviously, there's some conversation about the snub that happened in the Heisman, and I think it had more to do with the injury, the ACL tear, than anything.
I don't know anymore. I just don't know how to feel anymore.
I mean, dude, how does it feel to see, there's no Clemson people up here?
Well, that's not even the problem.
What's the problem?
We got Max Duggan. Right.
That's fair.
We got Max Duggan here, full health.
Yeah.
Fully healthy, played a full season.
Absolutely.
And mind you, Hendon Hooker is amazing. He did amazing things. And you got Caleb Williams here, who didn't make the finals. Mm-hmm. That's to me, that's crazy. That's insane.
And I totally understand what you're saying. And a lot of people, this is what they talked about during the Heisman ceremony. And Caleb Williams even made a funny jab to the other three finalists about how he was the one who won the award, and none of them were.
He was the only one not going to the college football playoffs.
Thank you for finishing my sentence in a time where I was struggling. But personally, I thought about that too. But I mean, it's really about the grit, and Caleb Williams is a great football player. He escapes the pocket really well. He plays really good football. There's some things with his attitude, like the things when he painted his fingernails, certain messages that we're not going to say on this Christian podcast.
Yeah.
But, I think Caleb Williams is a great guy. But I'm honestly not surprised that these are our three finalists. C.J. Stroud had a great season at Ohio State. Hendon Hooker, he had an awesome season at Tennessee. Even Stetson Bennett. A lot of people like to talk down on Stetson Bennett. But, Stetson Bennett's a good football player, and, he's come a long, long way. He's got a great story. But ultimately, it's time to hear who won this award. Isaac, who won?
And your 2022 TBD SportsCast Quarterback of the Year is Stetson Bennett from the University of Georgia.
Go freaking dogs, Stetson Bennett, the best quarterback in America, hands down. There's no, but no, okay, I can't say all that.
Yeah, I don't
that's
think
that.
you
That's
can
that.
say
That's
that.
that bias showing. Look, you know what? You guys forget we did not vote on this. This is y'all. So you know what though? I'm glad that Stetson Bennett gets some recognition because Stetson Bennett is a good quarterback. Is he the best quarterback? No. And I was glad to see that he was a finalist as a Georgia fan. A lot of people weren't, but whatever. I think he's a good quarterback, and I think he's, very important to the team at Georgia and the offense and the way Monken can use him. So, yeah, go Dogs. Go Stetson Bennett.
Don't get me wrong. I think he's a very vital part of Georgia's offense. I just think that, someone like Hendon Hooker, who showed that, without him, that offense is going to struggle. Granted, they did fine afterwards, but for example, against South Carolina, once he got injured, it was over.
That's fair.
So.
Still though, you got to give props to Joe Milton because Joe Milton can play. They beat Vanderbilt the next week, and I know it's Vanderbilt, but
yeah,
still.
it's Vanderbilt.
So,
but yeah.
There you go.
So the next award is our Running Back of the Year. Here are our nominees. Braylon Allen, Wisconsin. Chase Brown, Illinois. Deuce Vaughn, Kansas State. Jahmyr Gibbs, Alabama. Kendall Milton, Georgia. Muhammad Ibrahim, Minnesota. Rocket Sanders, Arkansas. Will Shipley, Clemson. Zach Charbonnet, UCLA. And your finalists are Bijan Robinson from Texas, Blake Corum from Michigan, and Quinshon Judkins from Ole Miss.
Now, obviously a lot of people know about these two right here, Bijan Robinson from Texas, Blake Corum from Michigan. But not a lot of people know about this guy right here. His name's Quinshon Judkins. He's from Ole Miss. He's a great running back, and he's done a lot this season for the team. Like, go back and watch almost any game. He made a huge impact for Ole Miss this season. He led the team in rushing yards and, could make big downfield plays, super physical back. But yeah, this guy's a great dude. And the reason why that's so important is because this dude's a freshman.
That's fair. That's fair. I have a feeling I know who's going to win this award personally. And like I've said before, I will never choose anything Michigan ever again. I have a feeling it's going to be Bijan. I mean, for years now, he's shown that he is a very strong running back. Personally, I wish I could see Will Shipley in there as well. That team, this Clemson team has been on his back for the past 2 years now.
Yeah, and Will Shipley, he was a great back. He honestly was the biggest part of the Clemson offense this year with the lackluster performance by DJ Uiagalelei, which we talked about that two episodes ago, I think. But you know what? I personally would go with Bijan Robinson to win this award. I think Quinshon Judkins for a freshman was a great guy, and I think a lot of people voted for him because a lot of the SEC fans who voted on this probably saw him and knew that this guy's a really good back and he's a freshman. So Blake Corum, he's a good back and he was very vital to the Michigan offense. He's more like an MVP for that team, I'd say. But personally, I got to go with just the absolute aggressive running style of Bijan Robinson for Texas. So that's who I would have casted my vote for.
Now let's get to the winner. Your running back of the year award goes to both Blake Corum and Bijan Robinson.
For the first time in TBD SportsCast history, we have a tie for a player award. We have two, this is crazy. This is our first tie we've ever had between two great backs. And honestly, I think it's kind of symbolic that it happened that way just because these guys were so important to both of their offenses all year. Unfortunately, Blake Corum got hurt, literally ran 6 yards in the Michigan-Ohio State game. And you know what? I just think it's great that both these guys tied for this award. First time ever in our award show history.
That's really cool. I mean, personally, I'm just gonna say we made a tiebreaker by both picking Bijan though, so I don't pick anything Michigan. But that's
fair.
just me.
Yeah, hey man, it happens. You know what? These guys are great backs. Though.
They are great backs.
I can't say that enough. And not just because I'm running out of things to say. I'm totally not. But
no. I mean, even of course, us three, me, Isaac, and Mason have a group chat, and even I've said that Blake Corum is a vital part to Michigan's offense. Believe it or not. Yeah. Personally, I believe, but.
Well, let's move on to our next offensive award, the TBD SportsCast Wide Receiver of the Year. Here are the nominees. Cedric Tillman, Tennessee. Quentin Johnston, TCU. I swear, you guys are trying to make this close. This is the second time we've had 4 finalists for an award. Obviously, our finalists being Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee, Josh Vann from South Carolina, Ladd McConkey from Georgia, and Marvin Harrison Jr. from Ohio State. I think the one odd out there that we were kind of surprised to see was Josh Vann from South Carolina. What? I mean, I know I definitely had some South Carolina people vote on this, but I was surprised he made it to the finalists because he actually tied one of our other one of our other finalists? Not going to say who it is yet.
No. Just no.
No?
No.
I thought Josh Vann was pretty good this season.
No.
You don't
Just
think
no.
so?
I think personally, I feel like it only comes down to these guys.
Yeah.
In my opinion, cool for Josh Vann, cool for Ladd McConkey.
Yeah.
McConkey.
Oh my gosh. He is pretty. You seen him play? He's pretty cocky when he
He's
gets
kind of cocky, but I really do think it comes down to two wide receivers who have made a huge impact on two of the most explosive offenses this year.
Yeah.
One of them opting out of the bowl game.
This guy right here, Jalen Hyatt.
Yeah.
He has opted out.
And Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, just showing up big.
Made a huge impact in the game last week.
Yeah, and Jackson Smith and Jigba.
He opted out, and yep.
Yeah, and not much of an impact this season as we thought he would have. So.
Yep, but as usual, there can only be one winner. Well, I guess we proved that's not true because
That's not
Blake
true.
Corum and Bijan Robinson tied.
Well, no,
Anyway.
Bijan Robinson won because of tiebreaker.
Unofficially. Unofficially. Anyway, and your winner, the 2022 TBD SportsCast wide receiver of the year is Jalen Hyatt from the University of Tennessee.
I called it.
You did call it.
I called it.
You
called
called
it.
it. Yep.
I mean, I had a 50-50 shot of getting it.
That's fair. Yep.
But, Jalen Hyatt, incredible season.
Yeah.
And, you knew he had such a big impact because, the game against South Carolina,
Absolutely.
they heavy covered him. And, he was still making plays.
Yeah.
But, once they heavy covered him, it was almost game.
And Georgia did the same thing, right? I mean, we played strict man coverage, and, we talked about that on a podcast episode too, that, we put them in man coverage, and we said that you're either going to have to beat us or you're going to have to throw slants across the middle because we're not letting you catch balls. So, but 100%, I mean, this guy exposed Alabama, biggest game of the year for him when he, put up 5 touchdowns in one game. Huge offensive performance from this guy, really changed the impact of Tennessee's season, really. I mean, he had such a big impact on their season. There's no way they would have made it that far without him. I mean, maybe because Hendon Hooker, you can escape the pocket. He was a really big pass threat, but, you got to have something already down there to catch the skin. So, and he caught it. So, yep, Jalen Hyatt, congratulations, sir. I think he had one at ESPN, too, but look, cool, you're also winning here. So,
Nice.
Hey, ours is more important, right?
But let's go ahead and go back to Isaac for nominees for our final offensive award.
All right, folks, get ready for tight end of the year. Here are the nominees that you picked.
Jatavion Sanders, Texas. Jaheim Bell, South Carolina. Another 4 finalists.
What are y'all doing?
Y'all are making this close. But yes, our tight end of the year finalists, obviously, 2, big guys up here, and 1 and 2 that are kind of maybe a little bit, whatever. Brock Bowers from Georgia and Michael Mayer from Notre Dame, obviously the best 2 tight ends in college football. This guy right here, Dalton Kincaid, this guy really, he made a huge impact, not only throughout the season, but also in the Pac-12 championship, made a couple huge passes. Didn't get super involved, but got involved enough to help Utah finish out and beat USC.
Yeah.
But the other guy, Darnell Washington, this really just shows you how good the tight end room is at Georgia. And I really hate saying that as a Georgia fan because I am a Georgia fan, but really, you can't deny the tight end room at Georgia is insane because Brock Bowers, he's a grown man. Darnell Washington, man's like a grown god. Have you seen this dude? He's 6'7", 200 pounds, 280 pounds, I think. And he just hurdles anybody and tackles anybody and just blocks anybody who gets in his way. You want to talk about a really well-rounded tight end that doesn't get a lot of credit. It's Darnell Washington, and the reason is just because he doesn't get super involved in the scheme. But dude blocks, dude does his assignment. He's really good. Personally, my pick for this, I'm going to go with Brock Bowers. They always try to put up Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer against each other just because they say that Michael Mayer is more well-rounded. And I can see that to an extent because also you have Brock Bowers, who kind of doubles as a wide receiver if you need him to. And, Michael Mayer is a little bit more built than Brock Bowers, specifically for tight end. But, Brock still does his blocks, and, I think that he deserves the award for us.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. This man right here is a tight end. He is built like a tight end. He is played like a tight end. He can block and he can catch. If this man was in a better offense, like a Georgia, this man right here would be probably hands down the best tight end ever to play college football, in my opinion. He is built. He can run. He can catch. He can block. That's what builds a tight end. And, Brock Bowers is great and all, but like you said, I mean, didn't he start out at wide receiver personally?
No, he started out at tight end.
He's built like a wide receiver, I'll tell you.
But he doubles his boat.
Personally,
so.
I would say Michael Mayer, only
Yeah.
because, he is NFL ready, I feel, out of comparison to all other three of these finalists. I feel like Michael Mayer is, more NFL ready, and I feel like he is the definition of tight end. And hopefully, good old Panthers draft him or Darnell Washington. I'm just saying.
Well, here's the other thing about it. That guy's declared from the NFL draft.
I know.
This guy's only a sophomore.
That's fair. That's fair.
So, but how about this? How about we let Isaac settle it? So, Isaac, who do we got, buddy?
Well, everyone, you picked him. The 2022 TBD SportsCast Tight End of the Year is Brock Bowers from the University of Georgia.
Alright, anyway. Yeah, Brock freaking Bowers, dude. The man, I told you, well, it doesn't really matter.
You told me.
This is People's Choice Award, bro. So.
It is.
But yeah, no, I still would have chosen Brock Bowers. And for those of you who have been here and stuck around thinking that Georgia's going to win all these awards, I know, and I'm telling you they don't. So please don't leave. Please,
We'll
I promise they don't.
Just kidding. And to TBD awards, there are some awards that were not voted upon by our audience.
We're not even going to discuss it. I guess we did discuss it.
I don't want to discuss it. I don't like this guy.
Well, I don't care because I like him and he won't.
Anyway,
Brock Bowers is your tight end of the year at TBD SportsCast. Congratulations, Brock. Anyway.
Let's go ahead.
Yeah.
But there are some awards that were voted upon by us, your TBD SportsCast staff and crew.
TBD Sports staff, if you will. And while we still have them, let's go back to Isaac Williams to announce the first of our TBD staff awards.
The Isaac Williams Heart and Soul Player Award is given to the player that literally gives his entire being to his football team, both on and off the field, giving maximum effort in every aspect of the game. The 2022 Isaac Williams Heart and Soul Player Award goes to Max Duggan from Texas Christian University.
Yeah, that's a great award, the Heart and Soul Player Award that Isaac created for, we asked him, he's like, if you could have an award named after you, what would it be? And he was like, dude, the Heart and Soul Player Award. He just wanted to talk about a player that was, just gave everything he had for his team. And I think that's a great example in Max Duggan. What he did against Kansas State in the Big 12 championship. Literally putting the team on his back. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
So.
You saw all 52 people on his back. It was crazy. I don't know how he did it.
Well, this season, so many schools were known for their great defenses, and others, their lack thereof. Clemson.
That's not fair. They did good. Their offense was lack thereof. It's time for the defensive awards, starting out with Defense of the Year. Alabama. Florida State. Illinois. Iowa State.
Yeah, I feel like we know who's going to win this award. We really need to talk about it.
Well, our finalists are what? Michigan? Clemson wasn't even in the honorable mentions, and you chose Michigan?
I told you, they suck. Anyway, our defense of the year is Michigan.
You're joking. Hold up, what?
Gotcha!
Oh.
Okay. Glory, baby. Old Georgia. Man, look, it's like I've said for the 4th time tonight. Georgia, after losing a record 15 players to the NFL draft, came back and had a season where they only allowed an average of 12 points per game.
And?
Now, we're not going to talk about the Missouri or the Kent State game. And that's incredible. Did any other defense in college football do that this year? That wasn't in the Power 5?
What other team scored over 30 points?
Yeah.
What other team did that?
I don't know.
LSU against y'all?
Okay. They got a high-powered offense, and Garrett Nussmeier, he played well.
Anywho.
Anyway, I don't remember Clemson.
Why was
on
Michigan in
Selection
that
Day.
conversation?
I don't know. Ask them, not me.
Why?
Anyway, I don't, Hey, I got a question. Who's Clemson playing in the playoffs this year?
We're
Anyway,
facing
now
that
it's time for
team.
our last defensive award, the Defensive Player of the Year award. Here are the nominees that you picked. Harold Perkins Jr., LSU. Jason Taylor II, Oklahoma State. Leatu Latu, UCLA. Mike Morris, Michigan. Miles Murphy, Clemson. Nick Emenwari, South Carolina. And our finalists tonight, of course, we have 2 guys from Georgia, and I'm actually really excited about this guy right here, because if we're going to get anybody from Alabama, people keep hyping up Will Anderson Jr., but I just don't understand. I don't understand the hype. Because I'll say, last year, Will Anderson Jr. had a great year. This year, Alabama's defense was one of those lesser, lackluster defenses that we were talking about in the last.
Non-existent,
Yeah, their secondary got super exposed in multiple games this season. LSU, Tennessee,
every game,
even Texas A&M.
Austin Peay had a chance there, man.
Had a chance to score, but then these 2 guys right here, Jalen Carter. I mean, that picture says it all, right? Just the integrity to not do something stupid in the SEC championship game. And then this guy right here, Malachi Starks, a true freshman at Georgia, getting a bunch of interceptions this season, making a huge impact to the defense, making a huge impact on the defense, and even beating out Keely Ringo for interceptions this year.
Yeah.
Because I think Malachi has like 2 or 3, and Keely only has he's got 2.
My only comment on this one so far is, don't those Oregon uniforms look nice? That's all I got.
This guy. But yes, they do look nice. Best uniform award goes to Oregon all time, every year, always. Anyway, but I will say those TCU uniforms, the icy white uniforms, and the Navy NASA uniforms.
Tennessee's blackout.
Tennessee's blackout was nice too. Anyway, uniform of the year still goes Oregon, always. Anyway,
Always.
Now let's see who won this freaking thing. The 2022 TBD SportsCast Defensive Player of the Year is. Wait, who do you think it's going to be?
Who do I think it's going to be?
Yeah, sorry to keep you on suspense. Who do you think it's going to be?
Well, because there's 2 Georgia guys, I'm going to choose the Alabama guy.
You really think it's going to be?
No,
DeMarco
I think it's Jalen Carter.
You think it's Jalen Carter?
Yeah.
I think it's DeMarco Helms.
You're fun.
Well, I know. So.
You're funny. You're funny.
Anyway, the Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah, Jalen Carter. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Go Dogs. What can I say? I mean, Jalen Carter, he's been a big aspect to this Georgia D all year. We actually lost him in a couple games. We lost him in the Missouri game, which is part of the reason we let them score so many points. I mean, the defense doesn't just come down to one person, but still. Yeah,
No.
the fact that we didn't allow touchdowns and we only allowed field goals does say some pretty good things about our defense. But yeah, this guy, Jalen Carter, what a freaking guy, what a stud. With all these like stupid rumors coming out talking about him being a terrible attitude player and, everybody from Georgia and all his teammates being like, hey, you're dumb, NFL analyst, that doesn't matter. But Jalen Carter, stud, great player. And, you picked him, and I'm kind of glad he won because Jalen Carter's a beast. So
He was all right.
he was great. Anyway,
Why'd you have to cough?
I don't know. Maybe I'm sick. Anyway,
Sick of all these Georgia players getting picked.
when it comes to that, I sent out the voting. I put it on Facebook pages, and I really went out there and tried to get votes.
Now
to
for
get,
our miscellaneous award.
I really tried to get more parity in these awards, and I got more parity than last year. That's for sure.
that is for
But
sure.
I just want to say that I know for sure that I definitely went more out of my way than Isaac and Joey to get votes.
I went pretty far. I was 5 hours away.
Anyway, now it's time for something completely different.
Our miscellaneous awards. Here are some of our nominees for our next award, Kicker of the Year. B.T. Potter, Clemson. Christopher Dunn, NC State. Jake Moody, Michigan. Mitch Jeter, South Carolina. Will Reichard, Alabama.
And behind you are our finalists.
None of which are Clemson.
Are you really surprised?
B.T. Potter had a great year.
Did you?
I mean, that's all that scored. Our offense couldn't do it.
Isn't he a part of it? Well, I guess he's special teams, technically.
He's
Anyway,
special teams.
Yeah, Chase Grafton to see Griffin Kell from TCU, Jack Podlesny from Georgia. You know what? I would have probably picked Griffin Kell, no joke. That's the picture where they beat Baylor, with the clock running down under 7 seconds, and they kick a last-second game-winning field goal.
That's fair.
To beat Baylor by 1 point.
That's right. I thought you were going to choose Chase McGrath, honestly. The kick that beat Bama,
Well,
But
I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, it was kind of a little screwball kick, and that kind of did like the wobbly thing like that, washa, but
the washa?
washa, you know what I'm saying? And it barely made it in.
But let's be real.
Yeah,
If your nickname is Hot Pod, are you really going to lose this award?
that's fair. For those of you who don't know, Rodrigo Blankenship, kicker before him, they called him Hot Rods. His last name's Podlesny, so they called him
Hot Pod.
Hot Pod. But I mean, if you want a really solid kicker, Jack Podlesny, he only missed 3 field goals the entire season. He's overall just super solid dude. Nails, he nailed that 51-yarder against Cincinnati 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Nailed a couple 50-yarders this season. I mean, dude's really good. Kept us in a couple games. Kept us in the Missouri game for sure. So he's a big impact player. But you know what? For this award, we can only have 1 kicker. So.
Or 2. Depends on if they tie again.
Hey, God, I hope.
Your winner for Kicker of the Year is Hot Pod.
I mean, it's like I said, he's just a solid all-around kicker. He really didn't win this by much, though. He only won by a couple votes because Griffin Kell was the next one down, which is who I would have picked just because that guy was clutch. If I had to pick kick of the year, it would have been that one against Baylor.
Well, when you have to come back all season, you kind of get good at your job.
To be fair, he did miss that field goal that would have put him ahead in the Big 12 championship.
Oof.
So, yeah, I guess, this one kind of makes sense. I think this was the point in the show last year where Joey started to get annoyed that all these awards were Georgia. But actually, You know what? Maybe we won't
It was
have
sooner this time.
It was? Anyway, let's move on to our next award.
The next award is another TBD Staff Award.
Yes, it is our Game of the Year award. This is a game that we pick that's just super intense, super fun to watch, a game that made us just go like the entire game. The
We
entire game
actually
around the edge
did
of your
that.
seat. Yeah.
We actually did that the entire time.
That we watched this game. I mean, there was a couple games that we discussed for this award, but ultimately, I mean, we had to come down to this one. I mean, there was just some heavy cojones on this team.
And ladies and gentlemen, the 2022 TBD SportsCast Game of the Year is
Number 10, LSU upsetting number 6, Alabama. The look on Mason Taylor's face, it says it all. We all know how this game ends. It goes into overtime. Alabama takes three or four plays, then they're in the end zone. They go up by a touchdown, 7 points. And first play, Jaden Daniels runs it, quarterback run for 25 yards into the end zone. And Brian Kelly, with some huge stones, decides to go for 2 at the end of the game. And you know what? It's a corner route to Mason Taylor from Jaden Daniels. It worked perfectly. I think when that happened, I said, "Hey, Texas A&M, that's how you run a corner out for a score."
Yeah.
We all know how the Texas A&M Alabama game went. But yeah, this game. I mean, the whole time, you know, if Isaac could talk about this, if he could be here, he would be telling you that he was screaming when that happened.
We heard him from here.
And you know what? I think it was a good idea, just because, you know, when they played FSU, they literally missed the extra point to go into overtime. And I loved what Brian Kelly said at the end of this game. After this game, he said, "You know what? I wasn't going to let that game be decided by anybody else but you guys. You guys are going to be the ones that decide this game." And it's like I said earlier, the look on Mason Taylor's face after that happened just says it all. So, yeah, our game of the year got to be LSU upsetting Alabama in Death Valley. The other games we discussed was obviously the Tennessee game, huge win for Tennessee. And also the Baylor TCU game, just because, man, that one was so back and forth to the wire, and honestly, just because of the way that one ended.
Yeah.
I mean, I was with Abby at a wedding. We were in the car. We had just gotten there, and it was right after they ran the 3rd and 7 play, and the clock's running down, and they're running the field goal unit out. And I mean, Griffin Kell from, you know, I think it was from whatever yards, just came out and nailed it right down the middle with like 2 seconds left. So
Should have been Kicker of the Year.
anyway, but he also was not always.
Anywho.
Anyway, yeah.
So obviously there was some crazy upsets that
Nobody.
saw coming.
And just like last year, it seemed that nobody was safe, or at least nobody was safe in the last 2 weeks. of the
Not at all.
season. Here are your nominees for Upset of the Year.
Number 3, Georgia upsets number 1, Tennessee. Notre Dame upsets number 4, Clemson. Number 10, LSU upsets number 6, Alabama. Florida upsets number 7, Utah. Marshall upsets number 8, Notre Dame.
You see, this is good. This is good.
Yeah.
You know, Clemson was not in the finalists for this one. You know, they haven't been in the finalists at all so far, but you know what? This is the right one for them not to be in.
You know what? That was a great upset, too. Abby's up in the booth giving Joey a look right now. Our finalists, obviously, number 6, Tennessee, upsetting at number 3, Alabama. First time in like 13 years that Tennessee was able to knock them off, especially being the underdog team. This is the game that pushed them right into the playoff spot. They didn't make it, but App State upsetting number 6, Texas A&M. That was early season, but literally nobody saw that coming, except for you. You actually did pick App State to win that one.
I know, and you know, one of 2 teams to get paid to beat the crap out of somebody.
That's really fair. And our last one, South Carolina upsetting number 5, Tennessee at home. Nobody, and I mean Nobody saw that coming, especially not, I knew it was going to be close, but I didn't think it was going to be a blowout. Like, I thought it was going to be a close game. I thought Tennessee was going to pull it out. We all picked Tennessee because, South Carolina had gotten demolished by Florida the week before, and they come out, and Spencer Rattler has the performance of his career. I mean, they literally did not kick any field goals, and they only punted one time the entire game. 63 to like 30, 36 or something like that. It was
bad.
Insane.
It was bad.
So, with that being said, all these upsets were pretty intense, but one of these games, dude, just had more than the others. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2022 TBD SportsCast upset of the year is unranked South Carolina upsetting number 5 Tennessee. Yep, I mean, and I gotta tell you guys, and I'm probably gonna put the numbers up somewhere like right here, but yeah, they won this award by like 20 votes. It was not even close. Like 70% of the votes went to this game. It's like I said, nobody saw this coming. South Carolina just came out and played one heck of a game. Tennessee obviously dropped the ball a little bit. I mean, you do have Hendon Hooker getting hurt, but you don't have Hendon Hooker getting hurt until like the fourth quarter. So I mean, South Carolina came out, they balled early. I mean, in the first half, it didn't end this way, but I mean, it was 28-14 at one point. South Carolina, they came out, they balled, they came to win. So yeah, South Carolina, they freaking played the game of the year right there.
They're all right.
I know you're a Clemson fan, but you got to give credit where credit is due. That South Carolina team, they came to play that week.
They came to play. Tennessee did not.
No.
Tennessee did not.
They also came to play the next week in the real
No,
Death
they
Valley.
didn't.
In the real
No.
Death Valley.
No, they didn't.
Pain for Joey. Anyway, now let's get back to the player awards. Let's go back to Isaac one more time for our next award.
Here are the nominees that you picked for the Freshman of the Year award.
Connor Weigman, quarterback, Texas A&M. Dane Key, wide receiver, Kentucky. Harold Perkins Jr., linebacker, LSU. Jared Brown, wide receiver, Coastal Carolina. Quinn Ewers, quarterback, Texas. Robbie Ashford, quarterback, Auburn. So our finalists, of course, Drake May, QB from UNC. Somebody we've already talked about earlier in this awards show, Keenshaw Judkins, running back from Ole Miss, and then Trevor Etienne, running back from Ole Miss. Isn't that crazy?
If that name sounds familiar to you, it's because Trevor Etienne is Travis Etienne's little brother, and Travis Etienne played running back at good old Clemson.
Ow.
Sorry, was it shoulder day? My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You got a little nice pump there, you know.
I know. But yeah, I mean, out of these three finalists, personally, I would choose Drake May, not because ACC bias or anything like that, but dude, does that man have an arm? Can he sling it?
Drake May is a very well-rounded quarterback, and he's only a freshman.
And he's smart.
I mean, obviously, this is freshman player of the year, but yeah, he's got a great football IQ. He's got a great downfield pass. I mean, he's the only reason that they made it to overtime with NC State.
Yeah.
Sorry. He's the only reason they made it to overtime with NC State.
I don't even know what he's like. Like a younger version of Max Duggan, maybe.
Yeah, I could see that. If he would beef up a little bit more, I could definitely see that.
Oh, please beef up more. He's like
Keenshaw Judkins, we already talked about. Great freshman running back, very physical, high yardage running back from Ole Miss. And Trevor Etienne, who I was actually kind of hoping would make it here. This dude, also another SEC running back that had a huge impact on Florida's offense this season. I mean, great running back. And, I mean, it's in the genes, I guess.
I'm in the cheese.
Anyway, I would have picked Drake May.
Yeah. So, Isaac, who we got?
And your 2022 TBD SportsCast Freshman of the Year is Drake May, quarterback from the University of North Carolina.
Well, there you go. I mean,
I called it.
Yeah, Drake May.
I got something
called
right.
It. We called it. Oh,
No,
I already
said
knew.
it first.
I already knew, though.
Yeah, that's not fair. You
This is
cheated.
interesting that I already knew. But I still would have picked Drake May. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have picked Drake May. I mean, no joke, because Keenshawn, great running back. Again, Trevor Etienne, great running back. Who I was surprised that 2 of our finalists were running backs versus quarterbacks, because usually it's the other way around.
Yeah.
You usually have like 1 or 2 running backs, or like
No,
1, not
yeah.
even 0 to 1, and then all quarterbacks.
Now, don't get me wrong. I really do think that Harold Perkins Jr. had
Oh, I know.
such
an
a good year.
Incredible season.
Such a good year.
Incredible season.
And I was very concerned that he really didn't know who Michael Jordan was.
Me too.
I was very concerned.
Yeah.
I took
Any-
that seriously.
Yeah. I mean, look, Michael Jordan's even before our time. We were only born in 2000, but
Yeah.
still, you know.
That's Michael Jordan.
Look, we're youngins, so anyway. Yep. You know what? Drake May, great guy, great quarterback, and congratulations, guy.
Good
But
job.
time to move on. This next award is one of our favorite awards when it comes to this award show. It is the TBD SportsCast Heisman Award. Here are the nominees for the 2022 TBD SportsCast Heisman.
CJ Stroud, quarterback, Ohio State. Drake May, quarterback, North Carolina. Max Duggan, TCU. Quentin Johnston, TCU.
That's
Well-
crazy.
What? The finalists?
Yeah. Georgia?
Yeah. He's from Georgia.
Georgia?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Why? Why?
Here's Georgia's best team in college football. Anyway, yeah, your finalists, you got Brock Bowers, a tight end from Georgia, Caleb Williams, quarterback from USC, Hendon Hooker, quarterback from Tennessee, and Stetson Bennett.
We know
quarterback
where
from
he's
Florida.
from. We know.
Look, dude.
DJ
Hey, man,
Uiagalelei
just
should have
do-
been a
hey,
Heisman.
Hey, just say what the Texans fans say. Next year will be our year.
Oof.
Oof. Yeah, big oof. Anyway, we've already talked about literally all of these guys, so there's not really much to say here. But you know what? Brock Bowers, a stud at tight end. Caleb Williams, another stud at quarterback at USC. Really, you know, went with Lincoln Riley and turned it around. Hendon Hooker, you know what? We said that he kind of got snubbed because of his injury,
Yeah.
but he had a great season. And you know what?
Incredible
he
season.
gets to be a finalist here at the TBD SportsCast Award Show.
He
is
gets a
Heisman
seat.
finalist,
He's right
yes.
there. He's
Hey,
right there.
How you doing, Hendon?
He's hobbling a little bit, but he's there.
Anyway, and Stetson, we've already talked about him too. You know what? He has a great story, and honestly, he kind of came from nothing to something. And
Nothing from something.
he came from nothing to something, and now he's leading the number 1 team in the country to
Yeah.
a national championship. The way we like to do it at TBD SportsCast, we like to announce the second and first runners-up, and then the winner. The finalist on the screen that is not announced did not make it that far and did not get as many votes, but it's time. And our TBD Heisman second runner-up is Hendon Hooker, quarterback from Tennessee. Sorry about that, buddy. It's all right. Get him next year in the NFL draft.
Next time.
Yeah,
Next
we're
time.
praying for
Hey,
you.
at least you were
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
No back talk.
Hey, what?
Stop it.
Hey, we wish you a great recovery, buddy.
Yeah, I guess. Anywho, the first runner-up for our TBD Heisman is Caleb Williams, USC.
And finally, your 2022 TBD SportsCast Heisman.
Hold up, I just realized our finalists are 2 Georgia guys. What are we doing? Why?
Maybe if you would have gotten more people to vote, that wouldn't have been the case.
I've been 5 hours away. I got all of Western Carolina to vote.
No, you didn't.
There's only like 2 people up there. I don't know what else you want me to do.
Well, it ain't. Look, it's
Yay!
not Lee Emery College in the middle of.
Fair enough. All right,
Bug
let's get
swamp.
to it.
Anyway.
Georgia wins, so I'm just letting you know.
Your 2022 TBD SportsCast Heisman is Stetson Bennett, quarterback from the University of Georgia. Yeah, that's playing in my head 24/7, 365 days a year.
You know where I learned that song?
Where?
NCAA 14.
Really? That play?
Yeah.
Nice. I had a lot of people learn it from Call of Duty when it's like, oh, glory, glory, what a heck of a way to die, you know?
Really?
Yeah, anyway. But yeah, no, you know what? So many people were dogging on this man. This dog, he's a dang good dog, a DGD. I am proud of this man.
I don't
And
think he
did
really
not
appreciates being called an animal.
Yeah, he does, because that dude is a dog. He is a dog, I'm telling you. But Stetson Bennett, he just doesn't get enough credit. A lot of people say he sucks. I don't think he sucks. I really think that Stetson Bennett is a great quarterback. I think he's going to, I don't know if he'll enter the draft. He's a little short. But you know what? Stetson Bennett's kind of our hero at Georgia, and he really just did a great job this season. Coming from a walk-on in 2017, transferring out to go to JUCO, coming back on scholarship, beating out DeJuan Mathis for the starting job, getting hurt and replaced by transfer quarterback JT Daniels, and then taking his spot in the 2021 season against UAB. Started against Arkansas and played a great season, led us all the way to a national championship, first one in 41 years, and I got to tell you, I'm really happy about this. The mailman delivers.
Agreed.
He does. So
Congratulations, I guess.
Stetson freaking Bennett, a dang good dog. Anyway, well, everybody, we just about reached the end of the night. We only have 2 more awards for you, but we want to do some thank yous. We got some people we got to thank before we continue.
Yeah, so real quick, we want to thank our family and friends, of course, for the support.
Yeah, they always give us support. They always love on us. They pray for us, and you know, I mean, they give us. Something we talk about here, not to get too real, but you know, life is hard. Life is difficult. Obviously, we're Christians and we believe in the gospel of Christ. You know what? And he's blessed us with families that we can always have a shoulder to cry on and always have support. So we thank our family and our friends for that.
Our listeners.
Of course, our listeners are literally the reason why we do this. You know, we're just two dudes who love the Lord and love football, and well, I mean Isaac too. 3 dudes who love the Lord and love football. And you know what? We're just grateful for you guys that you guys support us, because we wouldn't do this without you guys.
And you know, speaking of Isaacs, thank you, Isaac, for stepping in. Yeah, it's not an easy task, trust me.
Yeah.
And especially the way they had to work around it and figure it out. It was, from the sounds of it, very difficult, but you know.
It was a little difficult. You know, we had to do some planning, but Isaac Williams, you are the freaking man. Thank you so much for stepping in at a crazy, I mean, literally, it was like Joey had to let me know after talking with your therapist and counselor that you could not continue on because you had so much going on with school. And literally, we were supposed to record a podcast 2 days later. Yeah. Isaac was like, hey man, I'll step in. And he's been doing it with me, and you know what? It's been a great time. So, Isaac, again, dude, thank you. We could literally have not done this season without you. The fact that we're here tonight is part of your 33.3 repeating %. So, literally could not have done this without you. Thank you, sir.
Next is
I think I'll take this. Yep, Abby Conan, for her social media support, making all those amazing looking graphics that you see on our Instagram, on our Facebook, every social media. We really could not do what we do in spreading this podcast without her. So thank you, Miss Abby.
or, in charge of lights and audio and stuff like that right
She's
now.
literally in the booth running this as we speak.
She's actually running back and forth, yeah.
Yeah, she is. So thank you, Abby.
Abby, take a sip of water.
Yeah, for real, dude.
Yeah.
And finally, we want to thank Jesus Christ for salvation, for the fact that we literally were sinners. Romans 5:8 tells us that while we were still sinners, he sent his only son to die for us. God sent Jesus to die for us. And you know what? That's something that we're just super, thankful for. The fact that he would save literally a wretch like me, his enemy, and to send his own son to die for me while I was his enemy is, it's really, it's something heavy, It's like the fact that he would love me enough to do that, It's, not to get emotional, but seriously, thankful for that. Thank you, God, for saving me, and, you're awesome. Thank
But
you
no
for-
tears here.
Yeah.
No tears here.
Thank you for the blessings that you've given and bestowed upon us. Thank you for allowing us to do this podcast. And I'm just thankful for my brother, Joey, that God has blessed me with him, and for Isaac, and for an amazing girlfriend, Abby, who's also our social media director.
Yeah.
Like we said, but you know what? We're just thankful for all of you. That entire list, every single one of those things. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We could not do it without your love, your support, and just everything else that you give to us. So, all right, this next award, this is our final staff award.
Yeah, our final staff award is actually the TBD SportsCast MVP.
Yes, this is again an award that is picked by the staff that looks at a player or a group of players on the field that has a huge impact on and off the field, and honestly just has a big impact on the games they play in, especially the important ones that just, change the course of the game. This is a player or group of players that is just undeniably awesome at what they do.
Yeah, there are many players that deserve this award, especially with, this season, but of course we can only choose one.
Yep.
In
And-
technicality.
Yeah, technically. And ladies and gentlemen, your 2022 TBD SportsCast MVP is the LSU Special Teams versus Georgia in the SEC Championship.
There's only one true Death Valley, Did you know that? There's only one real Death Valley?
No.
Yeah.
There's two.
No, there's one.
No, there's two.
There's one.
But anyway, that's not why.
Not after this.
I'm just glad. Yeah,
Not
I'm
after
just,
this.
I'm just glad that Joey got to claim. He'd been mad. He'd been sulking ever since that LSU Clemson national championship.
What LSU Clemson national championship?
The one that LSU won, and y'all got beat by 20. Anyway,
That never happened.
Yes, it did. And I'm just glad that he gets a chance to clown LSU, because me too, because that was
I don't
definitely
have
a
to
beatdown.
clown them. They're already clowns. They thought they were SEC championship ready. Anyhow.
To be fair, Jaden Daniels was hurt, but still, yeah, they got. They put up 500 yards of offense and still couldn't win. And they're special teams. What are you doing, bro? It's not an extra point. That's a live ball, dude. I don't think they realized they literally could have picked that ball up and scored.
Yeah, that's special teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And they've been like that all year. That was just the.
That was it. That was it.
Man,
but
I think Isaac said it on the last podcast. It's like, dude, if they would just made that field goal, it would have been down by like 7.
Yeah. Maybe.
Or 4. 4.
Maybe.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
But
you know what?
Yeah.
TBD Sportscast MVP. We've been pulling Uno reverse cards all season on you. And you know what? Last year we did a real TBD MVP. It was Isaiah Likely from Coastal. This year we had to switch it back to the 2020 and hit y'all with something fun.
Hit y'all with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But finally, we have reached the final award for the night.
This is the 2022 TBD SportsCast National Champion. The 10 teams coming before you were all voted upon by you, and the final 2 will meet for one final game to decide who will win it all.
And another reminder, our listeners voted and picked these teams.
Not us.
Here is the 2022 TBD SportsCast playoffs.
Number 10, UNC Charlotte. Number 9, South Carolina. Number 8, LSU. Number 7, Clemson. Number 6, Tennessee. Number 5, Alabama. Number 4, TCU. Number 3, Ohio State. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2022 TBD SportsCast Championship game, Georgia versus Michigan.
And the 2022 TBD SportsCast National Champion is...
I wonder who it could be. It's Georgia. It's Georgia.
Anyway, congratulations to the Georgia Bulldogs for winning the TBD SportsCast 2022 National Championship. You know what? They're going to go out and they're going to win it again this Monday. That's what I'm talking about. Go freaking Dogs. Thank you so much, guys, for coming out. That is our last award. That is the end of this show. And you know what? Joey, he's had a rough season. You know what? I'm having a great season right now. We're playing TCU in the National Championship this week, and we're going to win that thing. Anyway, yep, we doing good. And you know what? I'm sorry. I just got to be humble. I got to be humble. Sorry. You know, we could lose. We could definitely lose this game.
Yeah. Anywho.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We cannot express how much we appreciate all your support, and just for the fact that you chose to, join us on this Saturday night.
Yeah, and don't forget to check us out on social media at TBD SportsCast and subscribe to us on YouTube.
Well, once again, thank you so much for your support, and thank you for joining us tonight.
And always remember.
Man, it's great to hear that again. No matter what team you pull for, you're on God's side, you're always on the winning team. Just know that John 3:16 says that God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish. God loves you. God loves you so much that you were a sinner. You were his enemy. You sinned against him. That would be like trying to kill your own father and him sending another one of his sons to die for you, even though you did that to him. Because that's how much he loves you. God loves you so much. He wants a relationship with you. He wants to know you. And I can't even explain what God has done in our own lives with our own testimonies, with lust and addiction and so many mental health, so many other countless things. And, God just loves you. God loves you so much. And we want you to know that. The gospel and salvation in Jesus is very close to the heart of TBD SportsCast. It's a big part of what we do in talking college football while sharing the gospel. And you know what? This is really important that you hear this to us. And so if you ever need anything, if you want to talk about anything, about the gospel or anything that you're struggling with that we can help you with, like mental health, lust, and addiction, you can always reach out. You can hit us up on our Instagram DMs, hit us up on our Facebook Messenger. Shoot, you can even leave a comment on this YouTube video. We will get back to you. We will talk to you. We'll pray with you. We're praying for our listeners. And guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you so much for your support. And yeah, we'll see what happens this Monday between Georgia and TCU. But that's all we got for this one, and we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Later.